So I was also laughing at how Belle was like, her first opening song is like, there must be more than this provincial life.
There must be more than this provincial life.
And then she like goes off on this adventure and ends up like a prisoner of a fucking horrific beast. And I was like, how's that for an adventure, bitch? You asked for it. Now, I bet you're missing your provincial life now that you're locked in a freaking cell with a lunatic. And Gaston got a lot of crap.
She's the one. The lucky girl I'm going to marry.
It's funny how poorly he was portrayed in that, because he was truly like an evil person, I think.
He definitely was. Because one of our writers was defending him when we were talking about this. And I was thinking about it and I was like, no. Because he was saying...
He was saying that he went to rescue her, but he didn't. She got let go by him because he loved her. And then he went and said, I need this beast head on my wall. And he just wanted to kill him because he realized that Belle was in love with him. After he tried to propose to her and had a wedding planned for them outside without her even saying that she wanted to marry him.
Well, then he conspired to have her father locked up in a lunatic's asylum in order to pressure her into marrying him.
Yeah, she went basically from being pressured into like being a prisoner of the beast to like directly getting out freed, and then somebody taking her dad and pressuring her again into marrying them. And that's why we learn a lot of lessons from this. Handsome guys with cleft chins, not to be trusted, evil.
I deserve the best.
Here's what I hated the most about the lesson that really is presented to young girls as you watch the end of the movie. It's basically like she kind of likes him and she's like, oh, he's ugly, but I think I can look past it. And then he turns into this very handsome man when she falls in love with him. And you think essentially now you're taught, I was taught, like, you can change a monster.
Right. Or just how terrible he was to her initially. And it's like, oh, if you just love him enough.
Yeah. Well, there's so many layers to that. Like he is so abusive to everyone in that castle and potentially murdered many of the people who live there. And then he's like truly horrific and abusive and freaks out, and everybody's obviously got PTSD from living with him. And she's stubborn and defiant, and she's like, screw you, I'm not gonna obey your beast-like commands, and I'm gonna sneak around your castle. And then he freaks out on her and she leaves and almost gets killed by wolves, and he saves her. And that's their first little moment. And then she's like, oh, I could work with that. He does have a castle. And
he's very strong.
You have to see, like, Gaston doesn't respect her desire to learn, and then Beast gives her a library with 7 million books in it. It's every book that's ever been written through all of time up until that point. Because it's the biggest library ever. So she's like, he gave me a library. He respects my brain. They fall in love. And then he realizes if you love something, you've got to set it free. And he does. And then she has a moment where she realizes that she's going to get him murdered because she's a dumb person who decides to show them that he exists and where he lives with the magic mirror.
Well, she is trying to save her father from the insane asylum.
Show me the beast.
Right. I mean, she was trying to save her father, but it did go very poorly. It turned into a mob that then marched towards his castle.
I know he looks vicious, but he's really kind.
And all of the people and furniture get in the fight, and then they end up... So at the end, he has this... She's like, I love you. I just love you so much. No. And she finally loves him once he's dead, because it's safe to love a guy who's unavailable. If he's that ugly and horrific. And then he wakes up and transforms into this gorgeous, like a Zeus-like Adonis man, just chiseled jaw and beautiful. And such my favorite moment in that movie when he turns around and he's like, oh. reflection. And she's like, I think I know you. Except, and then she looks in his eyes and she's like, Beast.
It is you.
It is you. Which also brings me to another time plot hole that I hate about this movie is that everyone, so he aged, assuming he was 11, although I don't know how we assume that given that the picture shows him as the person he turns into. So maybe he's actually like 45 and she's 17, by the way. And no one else ages, not even the child. So he's just been aging into a handsome 21-year-old and everyone else is frozen in time. Okay, fine. I'll let it slide. And then they fall in love and live happily ever after. But this does send this message that, like, if you just love a horrifically abusive man enough, he will transform and become that prince that you always wanted. And I'm telling you, ladies, Mama Phetasy is here to tell you that is not the case. If he's a monster and abusive, you run. You don't stay and try and fix him. You get the fuck out of there, unless he's keeping you prisoner. And then you've got to call one of your friends and have them get you out of there. Do not stay. Do not stay.
Drop that zero and get with the hero.
It is funny, too, how forgiving everyone is of him. Like, why are they all still there after they're finally transformed into humans? You would think they'd be getting the fuck out of there.
I always thought the teapot lady was a little bit old to be having such a young child.
That's what I thought, too. I thought it was his grandmother. Even
he
when I
calls
was a
her
kid,
mama,
I was
mama.
like, yeah, that's his mom.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. But maybe she is. Maybe she's aged, but Chip somehow didn't age at all.
There's a lot of plot holes here.
I don't know. Mama Phetasy needs to wrap this up. The other lesson that's very funny about this is that he's ugly and then becomes good looking. Like, it's not like she learned to love him and he stayed ugly. So she didn't really learn to love him. She learned to love him and then it was like, you get a hot guy. That's not going to happen either.
Mm.
If you see past a man's ugliness on the outside to his beauty on the inside, he's still going to be ugly.